Hello, I'm Simulator Dirk, and welcome back to City Transport Simulator. We are going to drive Route 1 again, but one of the things about City Transport Simulator which I'm enjoying for the moment is creating other routes and modifying the routes that are already there. So I have modified route number 1. Now this is the southern end of route number 1. So we've changed our logo. We will get in vehicle. So we are travelling empty to Freemanplatz. Now this route did run from Freemanplatz to the main railway station before, but we've modified the route. So Route 1 has now been extended. It will still go past the main train station, but not in the main terminal. It will go through West train station. There's so many customizable things that you can do that I've discovered in between episodes. Now I record these episodes in batches. So I've been working on this in between episodes, which in reality is probably not even half an hour, but it's the following week at least in Simulator Dirk time. So it is night time. It is 5:30 in the morning. We're going in, so we'll be basically going through the route empty to start with. That signal is not mine. Or is it? Let's just see what happens. Well, it didn't say that I couldn't do it. Alright, that signal is mine for the moment. Not mine. So what I'm trying to do is not only am I driving the tram, but I am also designing a network. So at the moment I have 3 routes and 16 trams. Signal's mine. But I've still got to watch out for cars that are crossing in front of me. So many customizable options, even though this is European. And because it's a fictional city, you can change things to whatever you want, and that's what we'll do as we continue on. Now I'm not necessarily going to make those changes on camera, but as the series goes on, you will notice differences. Even though the signal may be mine, which it's not, I've still got to stop before the other cars, obviously. And so that's where, yes, you have to try and run to a timetable, but you also have to take into account the operating environment around you, just like you would if you were driving a bus, which is also a part of City Transport Simulator that we'll get onto later in a different series. Now I'm running empty at the moment to get to our first stop. So that signal's not mine. So I've got just under 11 minutes. To get to our first station. Signal's not mine. Well, not traffic light ignored. I pulled up before the traffic light, just not before the line before the traffic light. So I'm level 6. I do like the European way of turning on the amber light with the red light on top, and that gives me an indication that the lights are about to change and turn green. Changing. We're going to go around to the left. I'll put our left indicator on now. Alright, round we go. Going from one street to another is generally 20 in my experience. I've never been a tram driver in real life. I'd love to have a go. It'd be awesome to have a go on a larger network. I live in Newcastle in New South Wales, 2-3 hours north of Sydney. We do have a small light rail / tram network up here that's only on one line at the moment, running through the centre of the city. It doesn't take that long to get from one end to the other. Sydney's network has expanded, but Melbourne in Australia is the place to be if you want to watch light rail and trams. Recently in 2025, the World Championships for tram drivers was run. And in 2027, that World Championships will actually be in Melbourne. in Australia, which I would love to be able to get to if I can get to it. Oops, I'm speeding. Achievement that I don't know what it was. Alright, got the signal, off we go. But the tram, you call it in a way the Tram Driver Olympics, the Tram Driver World Championships is on YouTube. I think there was 20 cities from across 25 cities across the world competing. From memory, it was won by the host city because everybody competes in the trams of the host city. Now you're not running over their routes, etc. So I wonder where they would even run that in Melbourne. Somewhere which wouldn't cause congestion to the rest of the network, I dare suggest, and that you can get a decent crowd too, because there were a lot of people watching. So it's not necessarily running over the route, so you don't have to know the routes. You would have to know the tram a little bit, but the way that trams, I think, are pretty standard. There's only a handful of manufacturers, and they're all basically designed so they operate in similar ways. I don't know how much familiarization time they get to have, or if they even need it for that matter. You know, having said that, and I'm just basing this on my real life railway experience, even though you might be driving trains of the same type, each one has their own feel, each individual unit has their own feel, depending on what's happening on the day. Like, you generally know how that train or tram should operate, but it's just so many different factors. There's so many different factors involved with how they handle. So you've got 1 kilometre to go. So I wonder if they even do need the adjustment time. Of course, they'd have to, give themselves enough time to get over there, especially coming from Australia to Europe. Get over there, get over jet lag, get over, the time zone differences and that sort of thing. Because Europe to Australia, you'd be travelling in different seasons as well. So it's summer as I'm recording this in Australia, so it's a European winter. So I've got 0.8 of it, or 0.7 of a kilometre to go. We're almost to level 7. Going around to the right, carry on. I was thinking about actually changing the names of the stations, but I don't know how that would affect the stations' internal announcements, etc. So it wouldn't be this station, but the next one, I'm presuming. Out to the right, wait for the signal. So I've got 3 routes operating at the moment, routes 1, 2 and 3. So we're slightly late now. So we'll talk through some of the changes that I've made when they happen. Now, one of the changes is that I've turned the stops into Vienna style. Into Vienna style, there's various styles that you can change the stops. Vienna, Berlin, Munich, amongst others, as well as the default Tramau.
The next station is Bellenstrabe.
So I've got English announcements. There's lots of different languages that you can choose. So for instance, if you're Polish, because this isn't supposed to be a specific European country. If, for instance, you're Polish and you want to hear Polish announcements, you can select Polish. But I think I'm going to leave the names of the stations alone. So we've only got the ULF trams that we're driving at the moment on the 3 routes. That's the only tram that we've managed to unlock.
The next station is Kaiser Park.
So you can select the do-do-do-do-do-do tone. Select that, change that. So I don't know if they're based on other networks. So I do like the fact that it's customizable. I think that would also cause that localization. of this route we drove on the last episode, and I'll point out where the route changes.
The next station is Oberring.
Signals for me, we're turning right.
The next station is Ringensteinstraat.
Zone after the station. And one thing that it is marking you on is passenger satisfaction. I accelerated when I should have been braking. Because how this is set up is actually different to how I do it in real life on trains. I'm only like 49 seconds late. Okay, signal's mine.
The next station is Hauptbahnhof West.
Okay, that's mine. So this is the railway line. So this is the second last station on the old route one. So with the old route one, the original route one, we were to go around to the left and terminate at the main railway station terminal. but now Route 1 goes straight ahead.
The next station is Constance. Change here for 3.
So it's telling us here that we can change for Route 3. This is the first new station on the number 1 line, or on Route 1. Maybe I could have gone then? No. Probably better than I didn't. Okay, so cars can turn left in front of us, that's why we have to wait. So while I am trying to have the railway station as a focus, I'm not going to make everything terminate there. Have more through running from one side to the other. So there's a Route 3. So I'm now level 8. So with more levels that I achieve, the more vehicles I can operate. Okay, it's not me, not me, not me, still not me. So basically I've got 3 routes. They all run from 5 AM till midnight on 10-minute frequencies.
The next station is Unter Ring. Change here for 3.
So this is a shared corridor with Route 3. Okay, that's me, that's me, that's me. Still me. Okay, that's me. That's not me. Could have possibly made it, but I'm not going to risk it.
The next station is De Witzweg. Change here for 3.
Not me. Actually, I might change names of stations in between episodes, and then that will, because if I wasn't supposed to do it, they wouldn't let me do it. Signal's mine.
The next station is Torrijama Alley. Change here for 3.
Signal's mine. And to the right.
The next station is Jacob de Straat.
Right, round to the left in a moment when we get the signal. Still not mine.
The next station is Eglandsdorf. Last stop. Please take your belongings with you.
Okay, that's mine. Alright, we'll just level up to level 9. Do I wish to skip the pause time? Yes, I do. Right, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to pause the episode here, make some changes, and see what happens. Alrighty, we are back. What we have done since I've hit pause, and it probably took me 20 minutes, half hour, I suppose. That's me being conservative. I've renamed all the stations on line 1, and line 1 is now red. So I want to see how this has worked. Now on screen it's actually worked. On screen it has actually worked. Now, for some reason, I couldn't spell Fassifern with 2 S's, as is the case. My tram is now blue for the moment. So, what I have decided to do is name all of my stations after suburbs in the general Newcastle/Hunter area.
The next station is Jesmond.
Sweet, well that's working. And it's working on the display in front of me as well. So we are later in the afternoon, it's just gone 1 PM. So what I've tried to do is not change the intent. That's for me and we're turning left. I've tried not to change the intent of the station in terms of, okay, Jesmond, the former Jesmond name started with a J, so I kept that. And Jesmond is a suburb of Newcastle. Now there are some stations like the university station I've renamed and the main train stations I've renamed which suit their real life purposes in Newcastle. Now that doesn't mean that the suburbs of Jesmond and Edgeworth in Newcastle, Edgeworth was the previous station, they are close to each other. But having said that, I'm not keeping it geographically correct. I'm just looking for suburbs with the same name. So it's probably more for me in keeping I want to make it easier for me to listen to because I've been listening to it for some time. So I thought, well, seeing as though I can customise. So number 1 tram to Edgeworth, so that's showing as correct. Make it a bit more easier for me to understand basically, and especially considering it's not supposed to be like when I was playing TramSim I wouldn't, even if I could customise in TramSim, I wouldn't even think about it because that's supposed to be Vienna or Munich. Now I've pulled up slightly in a bad position here, so I can't actually see the lights. But that car's going. Okay, that's not for me. Getting ready to be me. That's me. Oops, I'm speeding. That's supposed to speed through this intersection. You think, oh, going straight, I can do 50, but it's because it's several trucks crossing over. So the stations aren't necessarily adjacent to each other. So the Jesmond platforms are in different locations here compared to the other side. So they're showing us Fassifern correctly on the if I can zoom in. And yes, it does say Jesmond on the. It does say Jesmond on the sign. So that's cool. First passenger milestone completed. Okay. Alright, I don't know. I think if I go around to the left here. I don't fully know the route yet.
The next station is Thornton. Change here for 3.
So I haven't tried to make, for instance, Thornton in game be the same as Thornton near Newcastle. That trams for me. And I just got over the line before it changed. So I'm only going to change the names of the stations as I drive over them. Not for me, not for me, not for me, not for me, for me. Well, didn't know I was going to the right, my arrows have disappeared. See, I haven't changed that number 3 route yet. so I can't see the signal. I've got a green light though, so...
The next station is Dora Creek. Change here for 3.
Okay, that's me, round to the right. That's me. So it's the same route that we drove earlier in the episode, except I've changed the names of the stations. That's the only difference so far. Oh, I forgot. I should only be doing 20 through there. Not me, not me, not me, not me, definitely not me. You know, so there are some European things like that. Sorry, we're never going to be able to get rid of that. And I don't want to, but it's making things more identifiable for me and for the majority of my viewers that would not necessarily be European.
The next station is Warta. Change here for 3.
And you do, when you're changing the names of the stations, you do have the option to spell them phonetically. So there is something built within City Transport Simulator that will allow you basically to type the name, any name in, or most names. It didn't like Fast FM with 2 S's for some reason. Hang on, I'm going around to the left. Natural talent reached level 10. That's me. Now the next station is interesting, Curry, in terms of Australian place names.
The next station is Curry. Change here for 3.
Because there are a series of names in Australia that have the same word repeated. For instance, curry, curry, woi, woi, wagga, wagga. Now, wagga, wagga and curry, curry can be just shortened to curry and wagga respectively. But for some reason, and I don't know why, and I've never been able to find out why, you never hear the word or the suburb or the town of Woi Woi just shortened to Woi. It never happens. Whereas Curry, Wagga, Wanji, there's some that the name's repeated, but it's okay to shorten it. But never Woi Woi is never Woi. That's me. That's not me, because we've got traffic coming in front of us. And cars can also turn to the left, although that's being turned off now.
The next station is Newcastle Interchange.
Now this one's an interesting one because there's the 2 stops for the Harmendorf West, which is what we're coming up to at Harmendorf. So I've called this one Newcastle Interchange West, but on the announcement I've just called it Newcastle Interchange. Not me. That's me.
Guten Tag.
The next station is Raymond Terrace.
Not me, not me, not me, not getting ready to be me. Definitely not getting ready for me. Because I have cars turning across me. That's me. That's me. Surprisingly, there wasn't suburbs starting with the letter O for the next one. Not me. Could be me coming. Oops.
The next station is Oakhampton.
Not me.
Tak.
Like for instance, in real life, Oakhampton is nowhere near the next stop of Katara. Right, going around to the left. Alright, through here.
The next station is Kotara.
Yeah, that's really bumpy.
The next station is Burigal.
Oops, wrong one. Alright, last stop.
The next station is Fezifern. Last stop. Please take your belongings with you.
That's me turning right. I made it. Alright, so here we are at Fezifern. So there we are at Fezifern. Our tram is ready for our return trip to Edgeworth. So that is a complete drive of route number 1 from Fezifern to Edgeworth and back. I have been Simulator Dirk. You have been wonderful. Thanks for watching. Ta-ta and farewell. Bye-bye for now. Next episode, route number 2.